Hey everyone, if you remember in my previous video, I showed you this jar and I went to a big garden to buy some plants to make a terrarium. But besides the plants that I showed you in my previous video, also the link you can see in the right top corner, I'm going to show you in this video how to pick up moss for our terrarium. Stay tuned! To find moss, you don't need to go too far. You just need to go outside, especially if you're living in a humid area, you can find them even on the streets. If no, you can go to a park or to a garden and you can find them growing on the rocks, growing on the trees, among the bushes even. Just look around and you will find a lot of moss growing just everywhere on the trunk of trees, on even cut trees, just everywhere, just on simple rocks. Don't think that they need too much soil. They can just grow on a humid surface. Sometimes they are very beautiful, they have these curved leaves, and they have so many different varieties. If you say moss, don't think that it's just one particular variety. So I took this stick to collect some moss, but you can also take a spoon. That will be maybe more like easier for you, but I didn't have a spoon and I decided just to pick up a stick and collect moss just with that stick. It's really easy as they don't have long roots, they don't grow really deep, so you can just pick them up a little bit and then with fingers try to take the moss out. You usually don't need to take a bigger area of the moss from just one place. Take small pieces of it and then try also to take the moss from the middle of the moss when it's growing, and then cover the place again so that the moss continues to grow in the place and just don't harm the ecosystem. You can also find moss growing on the rocks. Here, of course, the soil is just minimum and they don't have roots at all, I would say. You will need just to scratch the moss easily from the rocks and take as much as you need. But yeah, I prefer to take just small pieces of it and cover it so that, you know, they still continue to grow and so that I don't harm the nature. Okay, I'm taking a little bit, putting again in the box I took from me earlier. This one is very small and very like another variety of moss, which is pretty awesome. I will have different varieties in my terrarium, which will make it even more beautiful. I cover it again and leave the nature as it was. Hopefully it will grow again. Here it's a little bit difficult to cover, but it will still grow. Collecting moss, you can also see some different varieties of ferns. You can also pick some other plants that you would like and choose maybe small ones, because in the terrarium there will not be enough space to grow. So if you see the small, nice looking plants that you would like to grow in your terrarium, that's also a good idea. You can again take them, just small parts of them, small pieces of them, and just try to take them with roots as much as they have. And if you plant them in the terrarium, they will grow just perfectly. And again, try to remember to cover the place where you took the plants. I will put it here. You see that I have already 1, 2, 3, 4. This spider is still sitting here and watching me, so be careful, don't step on them. Try to be as careful with nature as possible because it's just wonderful. Okay, then the next, let's take a little bit of this moss. It looks a little bit, you know, curly and very interesting. Let's see, this grows into this, on this tree. But I guess I don't want to take this one because there are some bugs living under it. So I guess I will leave it. And also I wouldn't like to have, you know, all types of bugs and everything in my terrarium. But we'll see. This moss looks a little bit, you know, like small, tiny, I don't know, species of moss. I unfortunately, I don't know their varieties. So if you really know what variety it is, if you know the names, I would love to know this. So please share in the comments if you know them, if you're growing them in your own terrariums. That will be cool to have. So I have already 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different varieties. I guess that will be pretty awesome. Here I have seen these 2 other varieties. Look, this one is even blooming. I'll try to focus now. Hopefully I will be able to show you the blooms. They're really tiny, and this is just, I don't know, there is nothing, literally nothing. It's just growing on the wood. Yeah, here, see? It has just 3 flowers. That's so cute. I'll take just a little bit of this too. I try to scratch it and see if it will be possible to take them. Just a small part of it. I don't want to take it all. I want to still leave a little bit so that it continues to grow. Let's see, very carefully. Yeah, of course, spoon here would be more helpful. I wouldn't like to do it with a knife, because with a knife you really cut everything, the roots and the plants, and it's not a good idea. Yeah, I have a small collection of moss here, and of course I'm going to take of this variety as well. This has a little bit different shape of the leaves, and I guess they are just, you know, crawling and covering. That's really beautiful. Yeah, now it's focused. See, it's another different variety. I would really like to know if what you combine with moss. Do you have just terrariums where you grow different types of moss, or you grow moss and the plant? This is a peel bug. I'm afraid I'm going to take this with me because this bug can perfectly live in a terrarium. Well, I will do it maybe for just a couple of months just to see, to enjoy, you know, some living creatures in my terrarium. But I guess I will just let it go again in the woods next time when we go to the forest, and I will bring it back. Hopefully it will not die. But it's really so cute. I have seen only, honestly, before this, I have seen the ones with just gray or like light gray, dark gray. But this one's like, I don't know. This is so cute, so beautiful. Yeah, look, it's walking around, it's checking what to eat. Very nice. I love insects and I find them really interesting. However, here I saw some eggs of, I don't know who will be born from these eggs, but try not to destroy, again, not to destroy the nature, just cover it. If you're not going to take any moss from here, sometimes you can just find moss growing under the leaves, but I try not to, you know, not to disturb the nature. So if there are eggs, so most probably some insects will be born. Here is a worm, so they need to stay here because this is where they belong, and I'm not going to either kill them or, you know, destroy their, I don't know, nests. I have taken also a little bit of moss from here. This is a different variety. This is from a tree, and again I'll try to cover it so that this hole will be covered with moss, and then the moss will be able to also grow quickly and cover this empty space again. This way it's more beautiful. All right, this type of moss is so tiny, I'm afraid I don't know if I will be even able to scratch anything from here. It's just like, I don't know, very soft, very thin. There are so many varieties of moss as you can see, and I wish I knew all their names and varieties. Maybe I will need to do my research and try to find some, you know, some biological names of this moss, because it's quite interesting. Okay, I will put just a little bit of moss, this type of moss here, and maybe I'll take just a little bit more, and that's it. This should be enough. And stay tuned, because the next video will be the final one where I will be already planting everything, all the plants from the previous video and also the moss in my terrarium, and I will show you what will be the final result. Stay patient about plants. See you next time.